and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So more bad news and the worst year of boxing ever. A couple days ago, I was told not to speak on it, but since Rolly didn't want the smoke with Devin Haney, I was told that Devin was in serious negotiations with Jojo Diaz, and that looked like that was the fight that was going to happen because this was the fight that Dazn wanted and Eddie Hearn wanted, and of course, Devin Haney wanted. Well, it turns out it was definitely some people that didn't want the fight, and that was Jojo Diaz and his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. So right after Eddie Hearn came out and released the information, revealed that Jojo and Devin are in serious negotiations and they're waiting to strike a deal, he says something on those lines. Oscar comes out of nowhere. There's no truth of any negotiating between Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney. And then later on, Oscar De La Hoya, he says he has other plans for Jojo Diaz. Now, Jojo actually retweeted when Oscar De La Hoya said there's no negotiations at all between Jojo and Devin Haney. Never did he say, I still want this fight. I'm going to tell Oscar this is the fight that I want. I'm standing my ground. He didn't say anything like that. He just retweeted what Oscar De La Hoya said. If Jojo really wanted this fight, remember, guys, Jojo was the one that was telling us. He did interviews. He went on the Boxing Voice. He talked to Bill Haney directly. He promised Bill Haney, we're going to make this fight. We're going to make this fight. It's a big, big fight, and we're going to make it. He never said only if Oscar De La Hoya approves it or only if Golden Boy says, yes, I'm with it. You cannot stop a mandatory challenger from fighting for a title. Have you guys ever heard of this? Have you ever heard of someone who fought through the rankings to become number one just so they could fight for a title, just so their promoter could say, no, you're not fighting against this guy? Doesn't work that way, guys. Why do you think Caleb Plant is fighting Canelo right now? There's no doubt about it. PBC, they wanted to get Canelo to sign a 3-fight deal so they could get him to fight some real fighters like Jamal Charlo and David Benavidez. But since Canelo didn't want to fight real fighters like that, he opted out of the 3-fight deal. So my point is, if Al Heyman was really controlling who Caleb Plant gets to fight, then Caleb probably would have never got to fight Canelo Alvarez. But it was because Caleb Plant, he told Al Heyman, he told PBC, look, man, I know you guys are trying to make a deal, but whatever happens in y'all deal, I want this fight. I want to make sure I get my shot at Canelo Alvarez. And that's exactly what happened, because at the end of the day, the fighter makes a decision. The promoter doesn't make the decision. The fighter makes a decision. But you know, the saddest part about this whole situation is Oscar De La Hoya is on some Adrian Balboa type of shit, if you really think about it, because he's telling Jojo Diaz, you can't win. You can't beat no Devin Haney. So I'm going to have to protect you and find somebody that you can beat. We're not taking the training wheels off yet because you're not ready to ride that bike. I mean, just think about this. Clearly, Devin Haney's promoter and everyone on his team, they have confidence in Haney, but Oscar feels that Jojo is not good enough. He's not ready, and he probably never will be ready to get in the ring with someone like Devin Haney. Man, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's crazy when you think about it. Remember, Oscar is the same person that admitted Ryan Garcia wasn't ready for Gervonta Tank Davis. I played the clips for you. He said, Tank Davis is a beast. No, Ryan is not ready. Now, Oscar is telling us that Jojo Diaz is not ready. He can't win. And there's no reason to put him in there with somebody that's going to beat him. This is what Oscar De La Hoya is saying. But once again, I keep telling you guys, Jojo has to feel the same way, because if he really had confidence in his ability, he would be on the phone pissed off right now with Oscar De La Hoya, telling him, look, man, this is the fight that I want. I know I can beat him. I don't care what your agenda is. This is the fight that I want. This is the fight I'm taking. Jojo did the same thing when Jojo decided to move up to 135. That was his decision. When he said he wanted to fight for Tuna, that was his decision. That wasn't Golden Boy's. He chose to do that. So he can choose to fight for this title that he's the number one contender for if he really wanted to. I mean, what's so crazy is this is the fight that Dazn wants. Dazn wants this fight. They've been pushing for this fight. In fact, the reason why, the person that talked to me was so confident that this fight was going to happen is because everyone was under the impression that if Dazn wants it, if Haney wants it, then Jojo wants it, right? I mean, especially if you listen to the interviews that Jojo did and the tweets that he was putting out. I mean, he even put out some tweets where he said, I'm doing whatever it takes to make this Devin Haney fight. And then we find out shortly after he said that, he was still trying to negotiate a Ryan Garcia fight. He's doing the same thing Ryan Garcia was doing when he was talking about how he's going to do whatever it takes to make the Tank Davis fight. It's all the same stuff going on, guys. I'm telling you guys right now, MBF is in full effect. It is in full effect. They feel these black fighters are too gifted, too talented, and they're not going to take the chance of getting in the ring and losing against one of them. Oh, but don't get me wrong. Sure, they'll get in the ring with the black guys that have already lost before, the black fighters that have already been knocked out before. We're talking about the undefeated elite ones. Those are the ones they're going to stay away from. Oh, sure, they'll fight the Steve Roses, the James Kirklands, the Danny Jacobs, the Willie Monroes, right? But they're not going to fight the Andrades, the Charlos, the Shakur Stevensons, the Devin Haneys. Unless the people with the real power forces these guys to take these fights. And those are the networks. The networks could easily tell these fighters, look, if you don't take these fights, you're not going to get the paydays that you want to get. And this is exactly what happened with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo, he wanted to handpick his opponents and he wanted to still get his guaranteed money. This is when Dazn realized they were losing money and they were telling him, look, man, you're going to have to step up the competition. That's when Canelo said, well, I'd rather leave. I'd rather pick who I want to fight, and I don't want nobody telling me who I have to fight, which is the same reason why Canelo didn't take that 3-fight deal where he would have made more money than he had ever made on Dazn. And it would have been against the opponents that the boxing fans wanted to see him go against. So Dazn is going to have to put their foot down when it comes to fighters like Ryan Garcia and Jojo Diaz not wanting to fight certain dangerous opponents. Meanwhile, Dazn is losing money if they're going in the ring with opponents that no one cares about, fights that fans are not even going to watch. Let's see if these networks start to put their foot down. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.
That's a theory there by the greatest matchmaker, probably, in my opinion, ever. Uh-huh. And I'm not going to mention his name either, but you know what I'm talking about. Uh-huh. And he used to have a thing up on his board, NBF, no black fighters. Uh-huh. And when I was taught to bring up a fighter, and again, it's just, he used to say to me, you can go anywhere in the country. And I'm going to leave it at this. I don't want to go into a long discussion because people are people in God's eyes, and we're all the same. He used to say to me, you can go anywhere into a city in America or anywhere in the world and ask a white guy, and he didn't say any other, he didn't say anything about Hispanic, anything. Ask a white guy to throw a jab, and half of them are going to turn backwards and throw it like a girl and everything. Ask any black man on a street corner in any city in the world, and they will snap out a jab in a heartbeat. And I used to laugh. He said, they're just more physically gifted. And he said, and so they have speed and better to stay away from them. Nothing personal. So I said, okay. And I've lived by that. And, I don't want to sound like some weird guy, but, you're trying to be safe with your guys. And so, there is a thing about that, but not in a bad way, in a very respectful way, to be careful. So,
all right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improve footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. Contact them at 704-499-3471 and make sure you follow them on Instagram.